Hello, friends, and welcome back to a solo episode where today I'm going to be talking about spirit guides, everything related to spirit guides, who they are, why we are so fascinated with our spirit guides, why so many of us feel disconnected or not sure if we even have them, and how creating a relationship with them will actually impact your life in profound ways. So let's start with what is a spirit guide. And in my experience, in my teachings, and what I've learned, and in walking this path of a student of life and someone who often crosses into the spirit world and works with hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, hundreds or thousands of humans that are also experiencing this journey as individuals who are embodied in our flesh and blood and yet are deeply connected into the other realms. This is my experience and knowledge that I'm bringing forward, and you can take what resonates and leave the rest. This is just what I know to be true. I have gnosis, like deep in my body, to be true. And spirit guides are a fascinating topic because oftentimes we are confused between spirits that have once been human and are now no longer human, and they might just be orbs of light, and they might come to you, they might give you signs and support, but they might not necessarily be your spirit guide. And here's why. Because spirit guides are assigned since birth. So when you come into this human reality, into this human existence, you have guidance already with you. And so if you have interacted with a human that has passed in your lifetime, they definitely might come in and support you, but they aren't necessarily someone that I would classify as a spirit guide. Now, oftentimes we can be confused between the two because the support and love they give you on this human path is the same. It's the same. And so does it really matter in the big scheme of things? No, not really. And I will say that creating a relationship with your spirit guides that have been with you since birth is more that long-term, like marathon level support where you know you are never alone. Spirits that have passed in your lifetime will likely come in or support you, either if they're still very earthbound and have recently passed, or even just in short spurts. So I'm defining a spirit guide as someone who has been with you since birth, a spirit that has been with you since birth, that has likely lived a human existence at some point in their journey and are no longer earthbound. And that distinction is specifically for how you create a relationship with them. And then, of course, we can go into the levels of different types of spirits that guide you, from archangels to angels, which a lot of archangels have never actually been human bound. So their level of knowledge or cosmic or realm support is going to be very different than someone who has walked the human path and knows a little bit more about what it can feel like to be human. And to answer your most common question, yes, everyone has a spirit guide or guides. I don't believe it's just one. I believe it's a grouping that have been assigned to you, or that, let's go even a step back and say that when you decided to incarnate as a human on this planet, your soul decided or brought in a team of who's going to guide you along the way. Sometimes they are for specific purposes in your life. Sometimes they're different periods, but they're always with you. But here's the thing. They are always with you, but they operate on the principle of consent. And it's so important for me to teach you this, because the more that you create a relationship with your spirit guides and the more you get comfortable inviting them in and utilizing their support and knowing how to receive what it is they're sharing with you, then the stronger that relationship becomes. So as an example, to differentiate between spirits that have once been human and spirits that are guides for you, I recently had a friend visiting me here in my witch castle on the island that I live on. And we were having a conversation one night, and she was sharing a difficulty or a challenge that she's facing in her work, in the way that she's of service. And the moment that she started discussing this, I had a I want to say like an orb of light that was appearing in human form. I was going to say a spirit that appeared to me in full human form in her presence, directing his entire attention to her. I knew what he looked like. I described him to her. So I paused the conversation and told her that there is someone here. This is what he looks like. And he is offering support in what it is that you just spoke of. And when I described him to her, she knew exactly who this was. He had passed recently, and she knew that he would not love that she's facing this challenge in her work. And so it was a real just confirmation that that particular challenge that she was facing is something that she has support for. Now, I wouldn't classify that as one of her spirit guides. I would classify that as some guidance she has in this moment of someone that she can call upon to help her with this challenge. So there's an example of how you can differentiate between spirits that are coming to you or your spirit guiding you on your path, your spirit guides guiding you on your path. I also have another example to share that's super important for me on my own path. So I have two primary guides that have been with me since I was young. In fact, I remember speaking about one of them, sleeping with me at night. I'm sure my family thought that I just had imaginary friends, but it was an adult that would sleep with me at night. And I now know or knew when I became an adult that was one of my guides. And the two that I know primarily, they've been with me forever, like as far back as I can remember. And when I go and journey into the special places that I go to connect with my spirit guides, they are always the first ones to greet me. So I have these core spirit guides that I call upon and work with regularly, that I provide lots of offerings for and gratitude for. And yet different guides have come in and out of my path regularly in the last, let's say, 10 years. And when I was in Hawaii last year, I went on a journey, and on that journey, there were two new guides that appeared to me. Both female, both different, completely different energies. One like a little bit sassy and kind of like standoffish, and she had a particular look to her. And another one that was like super, super high energy. And I was fascinated. I was like, wow, I just met two new spirit guides in this particular moment. And then shortly after that, I had a Reiki bodywork massage session with a beautiful gifted shaman in Hawaii. And she, after our session, of course, just randomly, said to me that the new guides that have come to me have actually always been with me, but depending on the lands that I'm residing on, they might appear differently, and that they were going to be working very closely with me in this next stage in my life. And it was so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to know that these two guides are now always with me and appearing in ways that is impactful for me in that moment. So that brings me up to my next point. I really want you to work with and understand your spirit guides more intimately, because I know that the support that they will bring in your life, the way that you can commune with them, will be very impactful. It will help your spiritual gifts be more activated. It will remind you that you are never alone. Regardless of your belief on God, the goddess, the divine, the universe, whatever it might be, when you connect with your spirit guides, it is like a universal reminder that you are not alone. And anything you're facing or anything that you desire to build in your life will be greatly supported with your spirit guides. And so I know I have a class coming soon on how to connect to your spirit guides, and it will be a profound experience on how to connect, how to commune, and how to create a relationship with your spirit guides so you can receive that change and impact on a daily basis. I want you to know that spirit guides are there as guides. They won't necessarily work the big magic that you can do as a human. They are there to guide you through synchronicities, through information if you are meditating with them regularly or going on journeys to connect with them regularly. They will guide you. Oftentimes we can ask for a particular signal or sign from our spirit guides in a tangible human thing, whether it's a little thing that you find or a word that comes from other people, whatever it might be. And I will teach this to you in the class. you can ask for that and receive it on a regular basis. So you have more tangible proof, because as humans, we still like that, like tangible proof, like show me how you're there. Show me that I know, so I can know that you're always with me. Like, give me a sign. And they will. They 100% of the time, they will. So I invite you to join me. We're going to put the link to this amazing spirit guide class on how to connect with them in the show notes, in the comments of this video or audio, depending on how you're watching this. We're going to give you the link to register, and I highly recommend that you do. It is a super inexpensive class, yet profound, and I'm going to take you to a place that you can then return to time and time again to connect with your guides. And remember, a few little tips as you have listened to this and you know that you're ready to dive a little deeper is remember that your spirit guides are actually an orb of light. They will come to you in a way that you are comfortable receiving them. So if you're not used to seeing orbs of light, they're going to appear to you as a human. And what if the time that they walked, they dressed in totally different clothes or looked completely different? Or what if they have different skin color and they're from a different part of the world? They're going to appear to you in a way that you are comfortable receiving them. But just know that their time as a human is probably very different than your time as a human. Their location, their culture, their history. So they will appear to you in a way that you are comfortable receiving them. Don't forget that. And remember that they are actually an orb of light. And so when you get comfortable or more used to it, you can ask them to show you what their original human appearance was. Oftentimes we want to give names to our spirit guides as well. And you know what? Again, their name, their culture, their experience as a human might not be something you're comfortable with. So again, they'll probably give you a name that you are comfortable receiving. Once you get used to the energy of what a spirit guide feels like in your field, then you will realize that that energy can be felt even if you don't need to see them, know their name, know what they look like, any of that. It won't end up mattering. But to start, they will come to you in a way that you are comfortable receiving. So I'm going to tell you today, my first tip for you before you sign up for the class, because I know you're all going to be there, is to sit down in meditation and ask for your spirit guides to be with you. Invite them in. Give them the invitation to be more prevalent in your life, to give you more information, to give you more signs. And then, of course, your work is to learn how to receive that information. Of course, free writing, journaling is a way to receive information from your spirit guide. So do all the things, dip your toes into the water, and just know what's possible on the other side of creating a fantastic relationship with your spirit guides is life-changing. It's an activation of your gifts. It's an activation of being able to create more on your terms. It's an activation of truly how you can manifest with knowledge and support. No matter what divination tools you use or what kind of spiritual gifts you have, because for me as a seer, I still also rely upon my spirit guides. In fact, for those of you that do a lot of one-on-one work with me, and of course any of you can as well, if you do one-on-one work with me, and I may not always tell you this, but your spirit guides come to me to give me information on you. So not only do I see information as a seer, but I receive information from your guides. And if I know that you've been in communication with your guides, I will reference that in our conversation. And sometimes it's really great. I'll see your spirit guides and my spirit guides communing, like, how are we going to get this information through Taverly, the channel, the portal, who is communicating with you? How are we going to get that through to her? And I can actually see that taking place. It's really wild. And I love it. It's part of what is like the greatest joy of doing one-on-one work with humans is to see all the spirits in our field communing to get information to you that is helpful. All right, so I will see you in the spirit guide class. Check the link in the profile. And if you're watching this or listening to this after the class has taken place, you should still come in and check it out because you can always access the replay. Much love, and I will be back soon. Thank you for joining us today. On any of your favorite listening apps, we would really appreciate a rating and review. And if you're looking for more information, make sure that you go to moontempleschool.com and you can find us there.